Hello, I'm your host, Tamara Caulder Richardson, and welcome to another episode at the Seeking Heaven, Near-Death Experience and Other Phenomena. For the month of February, we have a special series called Love Leader Lessons, where I actually speak with people that are near-death experiencers, spiritually transformative experiencers that have had a multitude of spiritual extraordinary experiences they can share with you. And then also, it's the month of February, so it's the month of love. So I was thinking, who is a love bug? Well, our next guest is just bubbles over with love. And when I just think about her face, I think about love and the expression of love. And so today we have here Ingrid Honkala.
Oh, thanks so much for having me here. It's
Yay.
Always a pleasure. My heart is bubbling with love.
Yes, you are. She's such a love bug. And, and just to tell the people viewing that Ingrid is a near-death experiencer. She's also an author, and she's a marine oceanographer. And then her book, which is A Brightly Guided Life, talks about the beings of light and her experience, which is very good. You need to check that out. And she's going to talk more about things that she's working on toward the end. But I know she does have a topic prepared for us, which is love life, and it'll love you back.
Yes. And I think that's the way to go. I always say, and I like to start with this, I say to people, you cannot expect to look at the mirror and be frowning and expect the mirror to be smiling back at you.
Right.
So that's the main thing. It's like, if you act in life, if you're the embodiment of love, if you're that embodiment of calmness, patience, joy, compassion, then that's what you're going to receive.
It's true. It is a mirror. I agree. And it's funny because I've been getting a lesson on judgment from Jesus. And he said, not what you think it would be. He says that people that talk about other people, that they're actually casting a reflection back on themselves. So to be very positive, because what you see that's less in someone else is actually less in you, and to just send love in the areas where people have less in it. But he's been having me observe things. He said, from that. So you're right. We want to reflect the true love that's in us.
And I love that you're bringing that, because that's one of the teachings also I've been receiving lately. Really? Yes. And it was incredible, because it was the sense of like, just being clear in not expecting anything. Do not expect. Right. Do not expect. And they said, do not be concerned with what others do. In the sense of, do not go judging, criticizing, expecting. Just be concerned with what you do. Be concerned in the place where you are. Are you being that embodiment of peace, of creativity, of love, of joy? Then you don't have to worry about anybody. Pretty much let others be. Don't put your nose somewhere else. Be aware of you and what you are doing. And from there, you're being the creator of that light. People ask me, how do you teach your children, for example?
Oh, really? Okay.
And they say, how do you teach your children love? And I said, by being that embodiment of love. If you are a person that when you're with your children, you are present, if you are in your state of being calm, if you are listening, you are actually manifesting. You are an expression of that love.
Yes.
So it's not that you learn through, love is this, love is that. That's just words. That's just mental concept. But if you are that, then your children, they're learning by example. So be the example, walk your talk. And that's what you have to do for them to just take it as like the sponge that they are. And they will become that too. They actually incredibly, that's our authentic self, is that already of love. I love this question that says, this statement and question, it says, if the core of who you are is love, compassion, joy, greatness, goodness. So the true question is, what am I doing to not be that? What am I doing
Exactly.
to discover my true nature?
Exactly.
So that's where we have to stop and become observers of ourselves.
It sounds a lot like what you're saying, like in First Corinthians in the Bible. You know, they use it a lot when people get married. You know, what is love? And they explain what love is. It's really pretty. And it's love, you know, love is humility, love is patience, you know, and what the things love is. So when you see people that are angry or impatient with others, then you know that's not what love is. So you know, we can amplify that in this world, what we feel love is. And it was funny because today I ran across one of my emails and it said this, and it's what you were talking about. Of course, nothing is a coincidence. And it was an Edgar Cayce reading, and it said this: be patient with others as you would be patient with you. For in patience, you become aware of your souls. So give confidence, give strength to others by your own patience and your own activities of giving an expression of love and hope.
Yes.
Isn't that perfect what you just said?
Incredible. Yeah, and incredible. Like if we do this in with our own selves, because how many times we're not gentle with our own selves? Many times we don't have that patience and that compassion and that kindness with our own selves, and how we expect to give it to others. Right. So it's like the beings of light say to me, start with you. Where are you? Become an observer of yourself. Go within, and that's the place where you will make things happen. So it is incredible. I love to give this little example, this little teaching. Like one day my husband came to the room and he had this back pain. And he said to me, oh, I am going to get a massage because my back is hurting. And he left. I'm okay, baby, go. And then I get a message from the beings of light that said his back is not going to heal. And I said, what? I felt like that. And they said, no, what happened is that he's looking into the result. People usually stay stuck in the result, in what is already there, but they don't go deep into the core of why that is happening. So that was incredible. And so they gave me an analogy. So they said, look at 1 + 1 = 2. If you're only looking at the result, you can waste all your energy, you can waste all your patience, you can waste all of you thinking about that and trying to amend, resolve that, when that is never going to change. To create any change, you have to go within.
So did you tell him that? Your husband? Wives usually aren't very good at doing the deep healing kind of, you know, emotional stuff. Did you tell him that? It was receptive?
Yeah, with love and gentleness. So
yeah, I was going to say, good for you.
But it was that when they showed me that analogy and they say, look, when you calm your mind, when you go within, when you connect with your inner wisdom, with that place of peace, look what happened. And they just show me 1 + 2 = 3. You create a new reality.
Yes.
You don't have to do anything to try to change what is already manifested, because it's already a result. Go within. Be that love, be that kindness, again, be that, and then you create it. We are creators. We don't know the power that we have.
Yes.
And we have the capacity to create miracles at every moment with our attitude, with our awareness, with our peace. If at this moment a conflict happened and I go to that place of inner love, how am I going to take it? What is my attitude towards this? And I am at the place of being an aware, conscious being. I can tell you that the outcome will represent that calmness, that will be a new result. But I have the power to create that outcome of pretty much nothing is happening and we can all be friends, or just create more turmoil and more problems and more.
Ooh, that's not fun. That's not a fun game.
Exactly.
Yeah. And when you see, to me, you know, a lot of the source of conflict, I don't necessarily find it in life. Sometimes it's with other people. And I feel sorry because sometimes people like to play these downturn games because it's all they know. And so I feel bad because they're hung up there, but we can take responsibility for us. We don't want to be hung up in certain areas. So I think a lot of problems, like with me, when my back goes out, when it feels weak, is usually when I'm taking too much on and I'm really wearing myself down emotionally and spiritually, and not really paying attention to my spiritual practice of prayer and meditation and sitting in the silence and being kind to myself. And that's usually when my back goes out. It's usually something that I can be in charge of and in control of, that I let happen. So it's really nothing anybody did to me. I did to myself.
Exactly. So that's beautiful, because it's going to that place of, like you say, taking responsibility and becoming the observers and creators of our reality. So this is when we can actually take the horse by the leash and know that it's not to be in control, it's to be aware of what we are doing. It's to be aware of the place where we are and what is our attitude towards any situation, the state of awareness, the state of consciousness. And from there, we are creating our new reality every single moment.
Well, to me, I think that when you really think about the angelic realm, the divine realm, it's a place of bliss, euphoric joy, love, unconditional love. And there, it's like a river, a flowing river, a warm flowing river. It's kind of like being in a warm, not too hot jacuzzi where it's just running over you, and it's just love. And of course, there's some sparkles in there, a lot of white light. But if this is the way we're supposed to have this feeling in essence, and it might be also the feeling of people when they first fall in love. They have that euphoria. And if that's supposed to be our true state of being in this way, then I think when we find ourselves not in that way, because, life, gets busy and whatever, then it's up to us to bring that love back into us. And I think that that's who we are. And I think it's just a matter of pointing out to people, that's who we are. And it's sad when people don't see that love in them, because we all have a spark of God. Like when I look at you, Ingrid, and I see a spark of God in your eyes, I see God working through you.
Yeah, thank you. I see the same in you. That's just beautiful, because that's the love that we're here to give to each other. To me, love is the glue that holds it all together. To me, love is the space between, meaning here and there and everywhere. But what is important that we can maybe share with people, a powerful tool, is to, and this is a teaching I also receive myself, and it's extremely powerful, is to learn to make good decisions.
Well said. Yes, because bad decisions can take you down a road of turmoil.
Exactly. So a good decision comes from the place of love, from the place of like how I want to treat myself. And from treating myself well, my decisions will make a ripple effect. So if I say to people, journal, write it down, because the ego, the mind is too fast. Many times it's going to fight you, like, oh no, who said that? Or why you're thinking that? So we write it down. Say any decision you want to take, going here, visiting, even simple things that sometimes you feel like, I don't know, what should I do? Yeah, if you go ask other people, guess what? You're asking for their point of view. So I say people start trusting yourself.
Yes, that's very good advice. It's true, because if you go within, that's where God is.
Yeah.
And you're going to always get the right decision. And another way to look at making decision is what is best for all involved.
Yes, exactly.
And so what is the highest good for all involved? And sometimes it may be, that maybe it's not a good fit, and they need to go on, because sometimes people get clingy. Maybe they need to go on their journey, and you need to support them. Because people get comfortable in life, but able to grow spiritually, we have to get out of our comfort zone, and we have to follow that inner voice. Many times I feel God speaking to me and telling me to do something. I'm like, yeah, but I don't feel comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like that, but you know it's the right decision, but it's kind of uncomfortable but excited, and you're like, oh boy, I keep getting that. But to go to the next level in your spiritual growth, you have to, when that opportunity comes, that you feel it in your heart, you need to go to that next little increment and get out of the safety zone.
Yes, and I just say to people, go write it down. Write it down. How does it feel? If it brings you to create conflict, then it's not a good decision. So you just start like, oh, let's see. If this feels stressful, then it's not a good decision. If it feels peaceful, joyful, loving, like you said, this is going to benefit everyone. It feels good. So you start trusting. This is one of the first teachings I received from the beings of light, Tamara, when I was a little child, 5 years old. They were already saying to me, trust. And they said to me, let yourself rest calmly in the hands of the divine. Meaning, trust that you know how it feels when it's right. And when you go to that place and you make that decision from there, you write it down. This is coming from love, or this is coming from fear. And then when you get that answer from within, is going to be the right answer.
You know, I like when you said, we talked before, because Ingrid's been on the Seeking Heaven channel before, but I love when you were talking about, in the interview, about your near-death experience, which you can see as an earlier video, you can see it on there, her story. But I love when you were saying you were an oceanographer, you were working with a lot of very prestigious military organizations and so forth. You kept getting the message to step out and to be this spiritual leader like you are, and you kept hearing it, but you didn't listen. And what happened?
Oh no, there was this two different teachings there. One was that I kept, just because now I had this big awakening, and I just kept thinking, what can I do or say to these people? Because I was already in these, like, how can I do or say to them? Because to bring them to see these truths that I am seeing or experiencing. And the answer was incredible, because the beings of light said to me, do or say nothing. Wow. They said, the light of your awareness is all they need. Just be that light. Exactly.
Be. Well, you know, if we just be, and you said it earlier, you know, I do me, you do you. I worry about my business. Every now and then we interact, you know, I'm like, great, you know, whatever's the highest good here. But you're right, be. And so many times, you know, haven't you ever just wanted to be in the presence of someone lovely? It's not really what they say. Haven't you ever been around a very gentle, loving person? It's not their words, it's their essence, it's their presence.
You don't need to do anything. And I will go walk through the corridors of the agency, just being that light. And even the most grumpy scientist, whoever, would stop and smile at me. And people say, you know everybody in the agency. And I said, no, I don't.
They know you, though.
We emanate that light. We are that embodiment, and wherever we go, you know, this is beautiful to me. Like after all the mantras I had learned, all the prayers, all the things I value, all that is beautiful in my heart. But I would say my most precious and powerful mantra that I use every day, everywhere I go, from my heart, from the depthness of my heart, I always ask people, how are you doing today? With true intention. Not like, oh, how you doing? I don't care. In reality, no, I really do. And when you do that, people feel that they're being seen. And I don't expect an answer. I don't expect, oh, I'm doing good. No, how are you doing today? Wow.
People don't get really acknowledged. They don't. And it's sad. I think that they're underloved. They're under-acknowledged. You can even see that when you just go out in life, you know, you just say, hey, how are you? Really connect with them. And just simply, they're so shocked, because most people are so into themselves that they're not
living lives. Yeah.
they're not being present for that other person and being in the moment, because all we have is just a moment and then it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
We just have segments of time and that's it. But if we look at them as precious, and the person in front of us is precious, because we're all we're all just beautiful flowers that are fading, right? It's just a moment in time, and we should appreciate each other. It's like a bouquet of beautiful flowers. Then I think we would look at life more preciously, and our own life more preciously.
Yes, yes. And you know what? You just mentioned a few minutes ago, because we have to be very careful when we say, I do you, I do me, but always with the knowing that that doesn't mean I don't care about you.
Oh, of course not. But
Exactly. But
yeah,
just
without the judgment. It's just like concerned about yourself and send love to the other person. If look, people are at different places, and sometimes people lash out and do really mean, ugly things, and that's just where they are. And you know what I do sometimes what I do, I go, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that's not me, because they must be suffering to behave this way. They must be internally suffering. And so I ask God to send them love and to open their eyes and have mercy upon them, and to send angels and to help them, because to behave so badly to people, it's never just us that someone's being mean to, it's to everybody. I feel sorry for they have to live with themselves, because I want that person to have joy.
And you know what is beautiful with that you're saying, Tamara, that offers contrast for us to see where we are in our own path.
It's
because
true.
That moment you're saying
it's very true.
That comparison goes to that place to, that helped me see where I am today. Oh yeah, if I don't want to be that place of
right,
I better keep like going that place where my authentic self is shining its light.
I mean, that could have been us. I mean, who knows? Life, we've been, I've done a lot of past life, and I've seen different lives I've had, male, female, poor, rich, different places, different, look different, some healthy bodies, some not healthy bodies, and I've seen in between states. And, it's, people get caught up on little things when we really are a spiritual being, and we just happen to have these bodies right now, and we get hung up on little details that really don't matter. It's really about the love that we share. But we could have not taken this like a spiritual path. We could have not cared. I mean, I find a lot of spiritual leaders have had to work through a lot of their own things, and they're natural therapists and healers, because they've had to work through their own stuff. And honestly, probably since childhood, I know I have, and I know you have, and I know a lot of other people have, like Trisha Barker, have been working on it a long time. But we could have picked the other route. We could have just decided, have a bad attitude and be like that. So the contrast makes me aware that that could have been me. And then also, what can I do to help that person? If I can't actually say a kind, smile, say a kind word, maybe then I can ask for divine intervention for them. Look, they're in a bad way. They need some help. And maybe God will send a person, if it's not me, to talk to them, to be able to spiritually rescue them. So it connects, because we just need in life, I think sometimes, just one person that will show us love. And many times it actually is more impactful if it's a stranger.
Oh yeah, many times.
Yeah.
We take for granted our family or the people around us, and it's like we don't want to hear it from them. So outside, that outsider, what we call outside, is bringing more contrast at that moment. Is it someone we don't know? It's like, oh, so it's impactful. We're more maybe sometimes open to listen to than wanting to listen the family or the people around us. But that's why all of us are put in the path of each other. And it's incredible, but this sentence that we hear, and through, I think this was written long ago, and is always having that clarity: don't do to others what you don't want they do to you.
Right.
That always will put us in the place of like, wow, how do I want to treat others? Because I look at myself and I don't want to be treated that way. I don't want to feel that way, just like you were saying. So it's always like, do I take the path of becoming angry for what happened to me and repeating the same to others? But if I didn't like it, why do I do it to others? And it's always having that clarity. Don't do to others what you don't want to be done to you.
Or another way to look at it, if you had a friend come to you with your problem, pretend your problem is being presented to you by a friend, what would you tell the friend? You would tell them the highest thing for their path, for where they are right now. And sometimes the highest path is, look, you need to take, they need to take this job. You probably won't be there long. They're not really, it's a dog eat dog maybe environment, but you're going to learn a lot for the next year. So sometimes, your highest good is not always peaches and cream, but you would be true to your friend. And I think that people need to be true to themselves. We need to be our own Valentine. We need to give ourselves our own Valentine card. What about if we did that? We said, I love you, and wrote down what it is we love about ourselves and sent ourselves a Valentine card.
I love that. And that's the one thing I encourage to people with their daily actions. For example, I teach walking meditation or
explain that to people listening.
In awareness. Yeah, exactly. Acting or practice mindfulness or be present. But just to give an example, say that today you went for a walk in meditation and, you're supposed to be listening to the birds and feeling the wind and smelling the flowers. Oh yeah, walking in presence. But you arrive home and you realize that today you were in your head and you didn't hear any birds. You didn't feel any wind. You didn't smell anything. I said to people, the moment you realize that you were not aware, do not punish yourself, because we are used to punish. I didn't do it right. I'm not good enough. I'm silly, or even using bad words towards us. I'm a stupid. Sure. No, at that moment, wow, praise the fact that you were aware that you were not aware. And when you do that, you're just giving yourself that candidate patting of love. I am aware that I was not aware. So see if at every moment of your life you could praise your awareness, praise the good that you do, praise the fact that you are a person that are acting from that moment of consciousness. Then what you're doing is that you are helping your subconscious mind to just be rewritten. Like, oh, okay, I grew up feeling I'm not good enough. Then every time you pat yourself in the shoulder and you give yourself a little candy, like you said, a sticker of love, your own card, what are you doing? You're, wow, now relearning that, no, you know what? I have value. I am incredible. I am this light. I am this love. Yeah.
Well, we all have value. I mean, when I, it's funny doing the, the mediumship, either, on stage or private readings. One thing that I notice so frequently, and I'm, I don't know this for a fact, but probably is one reason Sonia Cochette, who's written many books, stopped kind of doing the mediumship and became more of an author or teacher and so forth, is because there's commonality with people that are issues that keep coming up. And one of the biggest ones is that, and it just makes me so sad, is that people don't love themselves. And they'll say and I'm going, I see so much beauty in front of me, and I see people trying, and that's the best thing. They're trying. I mean, look, we're going to fall. You get back up. But it makes me very sad, because God thought enough of us to put us here, right now. And as you know, being a near-death experiencer, if it was your time to go, you don't even have to have a big incident. God's just you could just, it could be like a blink of an eye. You're not here. But we're all here for a reason. And I think that reason is to bring as a vessel of love, and to bring through God's love through us, and whatever way we choose to manifest it. Maybe it's through, teaching children how to play musical instruments. Maybe it's helping the elderly. Maybe it's writing poetry, but and then it's our personal touch with people as well. So that's I think people want big answers, and I don't think it's a big answer. I just think that we're supposed to be the love. That's it.
Yeah, but because we were conditioned and we didn't learn it, many people didn't receive it since they were little, then we just become conditioned to that. So, you know, one day my son was listening to these lullabies, and I was like, I wonder why these songs are so repetitive. And then I got the answer right there. And I said, oh, I get it, because we learn by repetition. And only by repetition, we unlearn and learn new patterns. So that's what I say. If you were conditioned to think you're not enough, to think you're not meaning you are not, to believe that.
Right.
The way to reprogram yourself is start little by little, like with the lullabies for children, reprogramming that subconscious mind that is believing that you're not enough. So we reprogram ourselves by giving ourselves, every time we are in a sense of awareness, in consciousness, in, oh, I did this right. Pat yourself in the shoulder, give yourself a sticker, give yourself a chocolate sticker of love. Yeah,
that's cute. Like a sticker. That's good.
You know, that like, oh, I received something. So people need to sometimes be visual, or it goes with the feeling. How do I feel? So it's like, wow, if I pat myself in the shoulder because I was aware, because I observed myself, because I was calm today. Wow, look, I'm starting to recognize that it feels good, that that's who I am. Because every time, you know, people don't, and I feel it this way and I see it this way, they don't realize that when you talk about gratitude, it's coming from the place of feeling great, of greatness. You're grateful for the things that makes you feel great. Right. So you pat yourself in the shoulder, wow, this feels good. Guess what? You're going to that place of gratitude. Place of love.
That's how I start. And you know, and I wanted to talk with you about the walking meditation. This meditation thing keeps coming up. I mean, you know, I like to do the bring the light to people. It's very quick. People go, it's quick. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't have to be long. There are some people that can sit an hour, 3 hours, half a day in meditation. There are different ways that you can connect. And I just, you know, I want to give people permission, because it depends on your personality. There are some people that might want to, you know, fold clothes while they're in a meditation, or walk and look through the yard and touch trees. There are, you know, one of the things I like doing, is too cold right now, but to sit outside, I have a 2-seater swing out in the yard, and I sit there with my dogs. And we start, first of all, well, I don't know what my dogs do. They might do it too. But in a state of gratitude, and we look at the leaves, we look at the grass, and we look at the birds. The next thing you know, nature becomes very loud. And then you get in this sense of, I'm safe, I'm loved, I'm here, I'm alive, I have breath. And then I start getting into glorifying God and being thankful for this life. And sometimes I get a message. Sometimes I'm just the feeling of peace, pretty much. So it always comes with a feeling of peace and relaxation. And then sometimes I will close my eyes for a while, and sometimes then I'll open it. But it's the rhythmic rocking. I'm a person who's kind of high strung, so I have to be doing something, you know, and so you can, if it's repetitive. The other thing I want to say, being a medium, when you're dealing with spirit, we're spirit, but multiple spirits, you have to either continue talking or move. So a lot of people move because the energy moves. So think about it. Why, in my mind, why would I sit here and be still when I would rather do it in a dance or in a walk? It could be rhythmic, as long as you're safe, you know.
That's why the important thing, Tamara, is not the stillness of the outside, is the stillness of the inside.
Yes.
The presence. As long as you are present, still within, you can be running, you can be walking, you can be moving, you can be talking, because everything you're doing is the action that comes from the state of being.
Exactly. And I want people to know the difference of this, because there are people I know, including my cousin who's a yoga master, and I'm not against that. But for me, I did martial arts. I had to sit in Indian position, like when we had testing, for 3 hours. My butt hurt. And then when I got up, I mean, sitting there, you know, the whole time, it hurt so bad, like for 2 days, sitting down in that weird position. Most people don't sit like that. So to me, it's what your comfort level is. It could be that maybe you are, you know what, honestly, I haven't asked him, but I'm pretty sure my husband meditates when he does, when he works on the yard, because he has a riding mower. And so it's automatic, you know, he just kind of does his thing. And I think he tunes out, and that's what he does. So I think that long as you go still within, you don't have to be still, because I can be still within at a big conference. That's why I can read people, and it's just a zoo with like thousands of people, because I've learned to go quiet within. So I think it's up to each person's style and what, you know what I mean? So people, how can I sit there for so-and-so? I mean, maybe they do need that, but I think that it depends where your peace comes from.
It works differently for everyone. Right now, I became certified meditation teacher for this other technique that I think is wonderful. It's called meditation for daily stress. So it's how
sounds
you
good.
become quiet in the middle of the chaos. So you could be in your office in front of your computer in a meeting, whatever, and it's going to that place within where you, so when we do the meditation, we just help to tune the person to feel like you are a mountain, like you are the wind in the desert, like you are a dolphin, like you are at the sky. So what the things that will bring you to that place of absolute peace within. So later, if you're in a meeting and you just in that, you can always bring. It will get recorded. It will get there stay in your subconscious mind, and it's the knowing that I am the sky, I am the grounded mountain, I am the dolphin jumping in the ocean. So with the more you practice these kind of meditations where you just bring that peace that nature is offering to all of us, and we are able to go to that place of calmness within. You can be anywhere. You can be in the middle of Wall Street and just go to that place of calmness, because this clear, Tamara, the kingdom of heaven is within. You don't have to go anywhere. Just be that peace, and you're there already.
Be the peace. You know what I do, and I do it also before readings, but I take 3 deep, soulful breaths in and out, very, very long. So my exhale's a lot longer. I mean, to the point, it's like it goes, and then when it exhales, it's just really, 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 really long. And I do that, and I visualize the white light surrounding me in this warm, with little sparkles in it, gold sparkles, but white light. And it just feels, it's protective and it's healing. And to remind me that I'm always one, and I'm always connected with God. I'm always connected to source, and I am that. But I think that for me, you know, because I had child abuse, I had to learn how to do that pretty early on, to be with the chaos, I had to bring peace. And so people that says, I can't do it. Yeah, you can. And the thing is, it's our birthright to be able to connect to God at any point, no matter where you are, and just have, you know, even if you just focus on your breath. You know, some people say count to 10, but I think the 3 long, deep breaths in and out, recentering, just to recenter and say, okay, you know, and to feel really grounded and loved. It's surprising what that can do. Just that, if people are, oh, I'm really busy, just doing that and visualizing that beautiful white light surrounding you and encompassing you, because we're never alone. And I like to think that heaven is up with the angels and all that, but I know it's actually a different dimension that's very close that we just can't see. But I even visualize, you know, sometimes I'll visualize angels around me, you know, and I'm coming, you know, to come close to me and give me peace. And usually when you visualize that, they usually do.
You know, that's so beautiful, all that, and how life and nature, everything is just pretty much God or the divine just opening the hands to us to show us, I'm always shining the light for you. The sun is always shining for everyone. We are the ones that close or open that door. You know, there was a teaching, that beautiful teaching the beings of light shared with me about the symbology of life. They said, you think that humans, people have children just to procreate the species, to keep going and as humans? And they said, no, look at the powerful symbology on that is to learn to love, to learn to go back to love. Look what happened when you have a child, is that you're given the gift to that possibility, or even if say people that they don't have children, but if you have this pet that you love, or this friend that you love, this is a symbol. This is the place where we can go back to that unconditional love. And it's an opportunity. And they were saying to me, how many people just miss the opportunity? They don't realize it. Other example they gave me eating together. People think that eat together is just, or eating food is just to maintain the body, to, okay, yeah, because I have to feed the body. They say, no, look when people gather together around a meal. Look what cooking together does. Look what all the festivities, everything where people, even us, sitting at home together every evening with the family. If we don't learn to, we don't see the beauty on that, the love in that, the connection in that, then we are taking it for granted. We're not appreciating it, because that's a call for oneness. That's a call for unity.
Yes, unity.
For connection. And we're missing the train, and we're not using all the life is giving us every day to experience love, to experience connection, to experience unity.
Well, you know, I think that's the positive side of having this pandemic, and people say the positive. I mean, I understand the negative part, but as far as the positive is force people to stay inside and not run around and to have things fill their time, and to actually be forced to look at people that they live with in the household and to communicate and maybe work on their communication. Maybe it wasn't so good with people. Maybe that's something they've had to work on. But more importantly is that we've had to face our own self and what we enjoy and what we don't enjoy. And I think that in the beginning, everybody was waiting for it to end. But I think that now people they've had to rework how they think and how their patterns have been. And so I think people are becoming more soulful to find out what they like and what they don't like, because they've been forced to spend time with themselves. And I think that's a beautiful thing, because we owe it to ourselves to live our truest life. And if we're not happy, and we're the only ones who can fix that. And even, I made a joke with my friend the other day. I said, oh my gosh, there's going to be so many divorces after this pandemic's over. And I said, but that's not always bad. Maybe that person needs to go on their path. You send them love. Maybe you're not their path. Maybe you were for a while. Maybe you need to go on your path. Doesn't mean you hate each other. And so it's a matter of loving that person up to what is the best for them, what is the best for you. But I think that it's shaking things up, but in a way that we can own who we are and acknowledge that and be in the present moment. Because I think before this, we were very, very busy doing stuff, running around, and we were not in the present moment.
We're being pushed to stop and
that's pretty bad, isn't it? We're like, that's exactly right. We've been like, stop everything, reconnect to nature, reconnect to your family, be together in front of the dinner table.
You with yourself. Person.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, because remember, I've been out to eat before, especially when everything was really opened up, and I would see like young people dating, like young, right? Like, and they're looking at their phones, and I'm like, they should be looking at one another.
Yes, that's why we're missing those opportunities of connecting. That I talked about this before, maybe that in our last conversation, but that was the purpose of my near-death experience, to actually bring the message of the purpose, the power of love and connection. And I asked the beings of light, how come? And they said, look, when your near-death experience, or when this experience happened, I saw my body. They said, you saw your body in the water and you left it behind. But that was not really the purpose of the universe. You meant to come back. Reason why you went to look for your mom and the maid, the lady that's supposed to be taking care of me.
So who ignored you and neglected you, even though she was supposed to be taking care of you.
Yes.
You were trying to, in spirit, I remember in spirit trying to get her attention, and she was clueless. She was what, watching TV?
Yes. So I was, she was listening to radio at the time, but then I went to her room and I went to look for my mom, and I said, okay, but if I meant to come back, and that's why I went to look for help, why did I stop in the maid's room? Why would I waste my time? And they said to me, no, look, this is the place where we want to show you contrast. That's the point of it.
Yeah.
When you went to the maid's room, she could not know that what was happening to you because there was no connection. This person actually mistreated us, so there was no love.
That's terrible.
But what happened when I went to look for my mom? Unconditional love, absolute connection. So it's when they say, look, love doesn't have barriers.
No, not even on the other side. No, they still love us.
So it's when I met my mom, I communicated with my mom. She stopped. So they said, look, the person that was 10 minutes away from the house was the one that saved you, found you in that tank where you were drowning and saved you. So my mom came back, and that was incredible because it's when they said to me, look, when there is no love, like with the maid, they will let you drown.
Oof.
There is no love.
Yes.
There will be war. When there's no connection,
yes.
There will be separation. There will be division. There will be all these problems. What happened again, we know this, when there's love, connection, wow, we work together. There's unity. We actually work in a common ideas of creativity, of evolution, of community. So that was amazing seeing that and how that experience was bringing about that message.
And the fact that you had to go to someone that deeply loved you to be able to, it was further away, your mom, to be able to help you. I mean, but you gotta, one of the things that I got what you were saying about the maid is that not only was she not aware of I mean, I don't know if it's true or not, but what I was getting when you were talking was that she was more in love with herself versus being in love with the world and everybody. Because and it's like, this is why we need to open our love up to others. And haven't you been somewhere? I have, and someone's in need, and they go, oh, God, I got a headache. You want some healing? I got a headache pill. I mean, I've attended to strangers, but when you're so focused on self or self problems, you can't see the world around you. That is egotistical. So I guess what I'm saying is narcissistic, maybe. If someone is in love with themselves, in love with themselves, as I meant to say, and kind of narcissistic and kind of broken, then they can't really. They're more, I guess not self-love. That's the wrong word, but more narcissistic.
I think also the problem with this lady, and when is the part of compassion and learning to understand the place where others are at, is that she was a person that she was also raised with a lot of punishment. She was a person raised by a family that she just received beatings and punishment. So this was also a person that didn't know that love. See, so it's incredible how we also have to come to that place. That's why we cannot judge, because we don't know. Better. We have to observe, and we have to realize that some people cannot give what they don't have. How can she only could manifest or give to us what she knew to give. So this was a person that grew up being really beaten and punished. Well, that's all she knew. So that's our path. I think that this also has to be that place of accepting that we cannot change anyone else because they're in their own path of evolution. That's why the being so light said to me, be concerned with where you're at, with your own actions, with your own behavior. Because if you try to change anyone else, now you're expecting and you're going to create suffering. So that's when we stop judging, because we don't know where, we don't have idea. You know what I do? And this is a really loving thing, is going to that place, Tamara, when I see another person and I've, in my judgment, I think they're misbehaving or they're being this or that. I go to that place where we were children. I see that person as a child and we're playing in a playground. And I said, if we were playing in a playground, pretty quick, we will forget that we push each other or scream at each other. And I bet we will be playing again. So it's like every person have had so much in their own plate that if we go judging others, then we're creating more problem. It's like go and centering, where is your peace within? Where is your love within? And the other ones just start, you shine that light, they receive that light, and they will grow with that light and with their own path. So, well, yeah.
I think that we were talking about the title of Love Life and It'll Love You Back, but in order to do that, we're really talking about loving yourself and what are barriers to do that, that keeps coming back to that. And I think a lot of what you had mentioned is being kind to yourself. Like you were saying, the people that beat themselves up with the meditation, they're not doing it correctly, or they're not doing it like the others, that to really just honor where they are and how they feel at that moment, and then give themselves grace. What a word, grace. The same they would give others grace. And people make mistakes. And there's so many people out there that I really personally feel that would say, well, I'm sorry, made a mistake. But because we're so much in a culture that doesn't allow for that, and if they would say it, then we would attack them. That I think that if we were more loving, like when people tell me, my husband broke a glass the other day in the cabinet, and he was like, oh, he's like so apologizing over. I was like, he said it was just a silly mistake. I said, it's not a big deal. It's not even one of my favorite glasses. I don't even care. I said, don't worry about it. I said, people make mistakes. But it's like, I think that that's part of who we are, and giving ourselves grace, but giving other people grace and allowing that love to cultivate. Because if you're planting seeds of love, you're going to have a couple weeds in that garden. You're going to have to pull them out. Yes. But that doesn't mean that get rid of the whole plant. I mean, we're a work in progress.
Yes, and look at how beautiful what you're saying, because that's the decision, like we were saying before, we can make at every moment. I give this analogy to people that is fun. I said, you say that you're going to bake a cake today, and you wake up in the morning every day thinking, how I want to bake my cake today. With the best ingredients, of course, because if you make a cake with the best ingredients, oh, you're going to feel good. And the people you're sharing with, this cake is going to feel good. But what if you decide, or you just have this bad attitude, so what are you doing? You're baking your cake with poison.
Well, it's true. They say people that if they do it with love, a lot of people, they do it with love, yeah. Then the food, it tastes better.
This is an analogy. So it's like how you want to make your life every day. So you wake up, and I use the analogy, how I want to eat my toast, because people like food. So it's like how I want to bake my cake. Do I want to put poison in my day, or do I want to put the best ingredients in my life? Joy, kindness, calmness. I want to start my day with joy, or I want to start my day with poison. Because if I give that cake of love to everyone and myself, wow, look at the day. If I give the cake with poison to myself and others, oh gosh, look at the day. Heaviness, it's a horrendous day. So it's like, is this like, wake up every day, what do I want to make of my day?
Right, it's a decision. A decision to be, is this going to be a good day? Yay, or not. And it starts with us. I always start and say, what a great day it is. Wow, I woke up. That's good.
You wake up with gratitude already. Yes, with gratitude, with joy, with the sense of peace. Look the day you're going to bake today. Look the day you're making for
baking day. Well, it's funny, we're talking about baking day. I have these little cake pans and they're in the shape of hearts. And they're so cute. I'm going to bake them for Valentine's. I do them every year. I bring out these pans and I make a heart cake because I just think it's an awful lot of fun. But you're right. You could decide to make things special and life special. And when you start treating yourself special, you start treating other people special too. And people can be a blessing. It's just how you want to look at it. People can be a blessing.
Yeah, and life is so giving and God is so giving, Tamara, that it's not just when you wake up in the morning, but you have the possibility to change your life, to make your life better at every single moment. Because right now I can make that decision, and right now, and right now, and right now.
Yeah, it's true.
So is your decision. Just make that decision now and go to that place of awareness always. Observe yourself and from there you know how is your attitude towards life, and that changes everything.
So it all starts basically with you know, right?
Yes. You know, one day I was having a bad day because I had an argument with someone, and I went to that place to say, oh, how can I go back to self? How can I need to go back to balance. How can I go back to self? And I had this big awakening at that moment, because it was the realization of like, oh, of course, nothing is outside of self, because self with capital S is the totality of everything. So each one of us is the totality. Self, like, is just everything. Nothing can be outside of self, because self is the totality of everything. So if we are feeling that each one of us is that essence of that totality, so whatever I do is creating an effect, a ripple in the totality. So the beings of light show me this cup, and they say, look, this is the cup of the collective. Ingrid, if you are stressed, if you're angry, if you are in the space where you're not being loving, caring, then what? You're filling the cup of the collective with that negativity. But every time you calm your mind, you go to that place of love, you go to that place of peace, guess what? You're helping to empty the cup of the collective. Yeah, and the more you empty the cup from all that, the more light, the more presence, the more essence can go inside that cup.
You know, it's funny. I got a similar example Jesus has shown me before. It's funny, we all have teachers and so forth, and multiple ones, but so he showed me a beautiful stream, a very calm stream, like a place you might even want to set up a picnic, beautiful grass, and this stream is going, and it's going very gently. It's very relaxing looking at it. He said, now if you take a stone and you throw in it, what happens? He said, it disrupts everything. He said, that's how it is when you put bad intentions towards someone, or if you react angry at someone, that it ripples. And he says, and then he explained that if you have several of those, right, that you send, he said, it begins building, it begins actually changing the current of where things are going. The current changes. So, you know, it really, if you think about love, you ever been around people you just love? It's so easy.
Yes.
So easy. It's like that stream. It's so easy.
You know, it's amazing how we receive these teachings that are...
We're getting the same stuff, but, you know, different ways.
Love is only one. But
yeah, that's true.
I got this teaching in which a being of light, I saw this lake that was absolutely peaceful. And then a being of light grabbed a rock, and it tossed a rock in the water. Yeah. And of course, the expectation is to see disturbance. And when the rock fell in the water, it did not create disturbance. It did not create a ripple. And it says, this is the place where you have to be, where no matter the challenge, you know to be calm.
I like that. That's a good one.
To be still, you know to be at peace. So they said, yes. Why do you think that humans are made of 70% of water?
Exactly. I get water examples all the time.
This is another symbol. They said to
Mm-hmm.
me, learn to keep your inner water calm. So what do I do?
Oh my gosh, I get the same thing. I got a message 2 weeks ago about being a calm water from Jesus, and he says, I'm the calm waters, be like me. It's the same stuff.
So now what do I do? Wherever I go, in traffic, I'll go where, Ingrid, keep your inner water calm.
Yeah, it's so funny that this is crazy because we've never talked about this, that we're getting the same information. This is hysterical. Oh my God. Well, it makes sense if it's the same place, you're getting the same information. But you know what I've done before? I've been in a very busy, kind of chaotic, like you said, imagine, the middle of New York City, let's say very hectic, busy, that kind of situation. And I've done two things. I imagine be the light and exude love. The other thing I've done is that I am invisible and I'm an observer and I walk in peace. And it changes the energy around you. It's like you just sort of glide through it.
I love what you're saying. And this sentence that I've been repeating lately because it was this beautiful teaching from a friend that is incredible, but is to live is to choose. To live is to choose. Choose love, and you are living. Choose gratitude, and you are the true living. Not like being a zombie, but live your life. Because what is that? All we really have, life. We're a spark of life. So to live, to love is to choose. Choose love, and you have a plentiful life. Again, love life, and it will love you back. So choose love, choose peacefulness, choose calmness, choose grace. And you can now say, I lived a life. I lived the most joyful, incredible life. And that one day when I was in the worst of my times, that we call it the worst, I felt I was in the deep hole, in the darkness, to say something. And because I was going through really hard time. And it's when I asked the being, so like, why am I here? Why am I living this life like human? Why am I here?
Right. And sometimes it seems odd, doesn't it? It seems like it's a play.
And the answer was that is not what you want to hear at that moment, but the answer was to experience pure joy. What? I'm suffering. Then is when I started to get it. Of course, to live is to choose.
It is to live it's true. Every breath and everything we do, we're choosing to be here.
Choose your attitude. Yeah. You want to bake your cake. Keep your inner water calm. Choose
keep your inner water calm. That's the best. They need, we need a T-shirt that says keep your inner water calm. Oh my gosh, we do. That would be, I would get that T-shirt. Keep your inner water calm. That would and do it like a little Zen flower. That would be so cute. Well, you have been so delightful today. Tell us what you're up to. And I know I'm going to put all the links, how people can get in touch with you. I know there's a website that they can get a hold of you, and you're teaching some classes. Tell us a little bit about that. And then we'll say goodbye to everybody.
Yes. So nowadays I have my website, ingridhonkala.com. And I do nowadays one-on-one sessions, 60 or 90 minutes, and those go incredible because it's just the moment where we were conversing with Tamara before, like there's always the sense like people say, are you medium? Are you psychic? Are you this? Are you? I'm like, I don't need any of that. And receive, the sense of that.
We're connected.
Yes.
I get it.
You are a messenger. I am a messenger. I am this vehicle. So
during this
session, it's incredible because what is best for that moment, what is best and with the highest purpose for that moment is what would manifest. So I receive
absolutely
messages, and it's beautiful. And it helps us mutually help in like heal and grow and evolve mutually. Yes. So that's amazing. So that's with the one-on-ones. And I'm also now doing a monthly mentoring session, monthly mentoring class. I call it Saturday with the Beings of Light. So I think told me that it
Yeah,
was.
and I think I mean there you are. Yeah, and it's a very good price. It's only like $21.
Yeah, so
So those are for people that can get spirituality fed to them and enlightened for very reasonable amount.
yeah, and my idea is that in the future, for now, I'm just doing the monthly mentorings, but I'm creating a community too. So in the future, it will be a very low price and we'll get a lot of perks. But that's something that is coming. But during my mentoring monthly session, I do 1 hour of just bringing all these teachings and just 1 hour of class or just bringing teachings to the light and 1 hour of question and answer. And if somebody missed the class, the session, they can always, it is always access it again. And if they missed it completely, they can go to my website and purchase in the archives all the classes I have taught before.
Oh, that's fantastic. So they can kind of pick and choose. I think that's great. I think it's great that you're sharing yourself because some people want to get more Ingrid. And so there's various ways you can do that. And you also have a YouTube channel, so they can check that out with things that you have, meditations and things that you have. And then we'll have the links below with that too. So I love all the things that you're doing. You're trying to spread the love and maybe have 1 or 2 people remember that they're loved too. And maybe then their purpose of love can open up too, because that's what we need. We need any kind of infection we have these days, we need it to be one of love.
Yes, the one of connection, that we feel like listening to each other, be present for each other, and start with those little things. Pat yourself in the shoulder and give yourself a little bit of love.
Well, look, I'm giving you a lot of love. Thank you so much for today. Namaste. You are amazing. I just think you're the original love bug. I can't say enough about you. Thank you so much, Ingrid. Much love.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.